Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jonathan Levin. I'm a co-founder of Coinometrics. We are a data analytics company for Bitcoin. This is our idea. Bitcoin suffers from a problem that there are no credible data sources out there. People get their information off web services where their primary priority is not to provide credible data. We've seen this in reports from government institutions and businesses that we need to have credible data to make investment decisions. The next flows of capital will be reliant on credible data. So what data do we need to have in order to show the world that this is an industry that is growing and an industry that is significant? So we have our underlying layer is the peer-to-peer network. We monitor the speed at which transactions get confirmed, the speed at which blocks are propagated, where around the world are people running nodes. We use similar tools to BlockView to visualize the blockchain and analyze the transaction graph. We have market data where we model the Bitcoin volatility, and we also have a price index coming out very soon that is transparent, back-tested, and has all the documentation that you need to go to your regulators and build a derivatives product on top. And we've started to think about scraping various trends off social media platforms. Just to visualize some of our data, this shows how blocks are spread throughout the network. When a new block is found on the Bitcoin network, only one peer knows about it. There are about 5,000 nodes on the Bitcoin network today, and you can see that as we go up the graph, more and more nodes find out about a block and come to a consensus at 100%. So we use our data on Bitcoin mining pools combined with our information on all the nodes on the network to visualize what the health of the network looks like. We've heard a lot of talk about the 51% issue. This is a significant issue for Bitcoin's health. We are monitoring very closely the distribution of blocks between the different mining pools to make sure that no one is engaging in selfish mining attacks and the like. In fact, on this graph, you can see the most unlikely event in the history of Bitcoin was P2Pool finding 3 blocks in a row with only 2% of the network. We look at the active money supply. We monitor what addresses are spending money. You can see that on a daily basis, only about 250,000 coins are spent from addresses. This is something to bear in mind when we think about prices and investment. Again, this is a similar visualization to what the BlockView guys have been doing, is following the money across the transaction graph. The green dots in this chart are transactions in a particular block. The red dots on the graph are showing transactions that fund that transaction, and the blue dots are transactions that have spent the outputs from the green dots. This is going to be useful for a variety of purposes, for people, for merchant processors to understand the flows of money on the network, and we look forward to working with businesses for them to understand this. So overall, we have all these tools. We've packaged them up into individual products. We can service anyone's data needs through a single API. You can have a look at the blockchain information if you want it, only market data. And we've got our new website launching probably in the next 2 weeks. The core team, there's 3 co-founders, myself, Scott Johnson, and Nadi Sarar. I'm an economist, Scott's an MBA JD and is a coder. Nadi is our technical lead. He's a network specialist, a postdoc in Berlin. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, follow us on Twitter, or come and speak to me in person. I think I have some time for some questions, if anyone's got any questions. No? Yeah. Yeah, so the question was, will we be licensing out the data? We're very happy to license out. Our first product will be licensing out our price index. We use quantitative rules rather than qualitative rules for the inclusion criteria. We update our criteria on a weekly basis and set the window at which we judge all of our inclusion criteria. And we'll be licensing that out to exchanges and wallets and whoever wants to use it. Any more questions? Yeah, at the back. Good question. Yeah, we are looking at some analysis on double spends because we're looking at the entire network graph. It's a possible solution, although not a complete solution, because miners can just privately not announce double spends. But we can detect if people are double spending and actually relaying alternative transactions across the network. Yeah.
Can you detect terrorist financing or sanctions breaches or money laundering?
Yes, to some degree. I'm not going to give you a 100% commitment to do all of it, but we can definitely think about geolocation and banning certain nodes from what you want to do. Any more questions?
Yes, it's working, yes. Number 2. Okay, so if you find some double spending attack, or if you just see some strange transactions there, actually, are you diffusing this information so that people know there is double spending going on? Because normally this information is lost in Bitcoin.
At the moment, we are working on being sure that we don't make false accusations, and a lot of stuff that you can do can have false positives. So we're not spreading that information, but we're happy to work with you if you want to.
It's just raw information. It's just objective information. Yeah? Like there are 2 transactions, you know. Normally they can be lost and forgotten in the current Bitcoin network.
Yeah, we're making records of it. Yeah. I mean, we're not broadcasting them. 30 seconds to go. Any more questions?
Are you looking at the selfish mining question?
Yeah, so we actually, I mean, if you look at this, if I can go backwards, or maybe I can't. Yeah, so when we look at the number of blocks that someone has solved in a row, that is going to be indicative of someone engaging in some malicious mining strategy like withholding blocks from the network. So yeah, we are. Thanks very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you at the conference.